in the fact that he has not taken a step back to fight against the so-called majoritarian dominance against the minority Kuki-Zo in Manipur. Sir, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you for standing strong, steadfast to fight for a cause that makes so much of meaning to the Kuki-Zo people. We pray that God bless you and may you continue to stand for truth and fight for the Kuki-Zo people. As a sign of our acknowledgement, sir, we would like to acknowledge you for your contribution and this booklet, which carries a whole lot of stories about this present-day genocidal campaign of Mr. Biren Singh-led Mayday government. Sir, thank you, sir. Misatang namdang idang apangi patena ng ayuti. Over to Sir Agnostos Tios.
Thank you. I'm in many ways very sad today. When I was coming here, I was run over by a lot of emotions because can it get any worse in this country that people have been brutally massacred, beheaded, children have been burnt alive, and I don't even want to say many other things which have happened. But despite that, you have to come here and beg for your basic rights. Can it get any worse? Can it?
Not at all, sir.
The problem is that under this current regime, it can get worse, but it should not be allowed to get worse. 10 days ago, when we organized Manipur Ki Baat, in that the recently retired Chief Justice of the High Court of Manipur said one thing which shows everything that is wrong with our country and the problem with Manipur today. And he said, nothing could have prepared me for what I saw in Manipur. These are the words of the Chief Justice of the High Court of Manipur. Not anybody else. It's a constitutional position. The former Home Secretary, Mr. G.K. Pillai, said that Manipur today is like the wild, wild west. So we have gone back maybe a century, 100, 150 years, we've gone back. Manipur today is being compared to Darfur and Cambodia and Sudan. And the problem is that the citizens of this country are still sleeping. My friend, when introducing me, said we are thankful for fighting for the Kuki-Zo. No, the fight is for India. Stop calling yourself by a small name. You are Indians. And entire India should fight for you. So in today's, whatever I say, I will also try to speak a little bit in Hindi so that this message goes out to the villages also, so that people know what this government is doing with the people of India. और अगर इस सबको रोका नहीं गया तो अगला नंबर आपका है. जब एक शरीर के किसी एक हिस्से में अगर कोई बीमारी होती है तो इलाज ना करें तो पूरा शरीर खराब हो जाता है. Manipur is an integral part of the body called India. An entire country needs to come forward for its correct treatment. But before I go further to the people of India, I want to request one thing from each one of you who's present here today. Each one of you has to share every single video which was made here today. In Manipur Ki Baat, we had the senior most people who understand this issue like the back of their hand come and speak for Manipur and for the country. Share that video with at least 100 contacts on your phone. Immediately you would have made this message go to at least 30,000 or 3 lakh or 30 lakh or 3 crore people around the world. Will you do it for me? So while Mr. G.K. Pillai also said that the double-engine Sarkar had failed, I want to go a step forward and say that the double-engined Sarkar conspired against the people of India and the people of Manipur by handing over weapons to civilians and leading to this mass massacre which has gone on for nearly 2 years. In any civil society, was it possible that something like this would have continued beyond a couple of days? No. Sorry, I can't hear you. No. But it has been allowed to, and it has been facilitated to. Because this cannot happen without somebody intentionally and meaningfully and wanting to do so makes it happen. People don't even know in the country that the official number of weapons which were handed out, and I very clearly, categorically say handed out, these weapons of mass destruction were handed out because not a single bullet was fired when they were so-called being looted. What were the security forces doing? Is it an armory or a kindergarten school that somebody walks in and says, bye-bye, I'm taking 10,000 bombs with me? 7,000 guns, 7 lakh bullets, 14,500 bombs. This is the rough official number. The unofficial number is much higher, and we know how in our country, unfortunately, the statistics are hidden. According to an ex-army general, the number of guns is about 15 to 20,000. So Manipur is a very stark example of everything that's wrong with this country today. Manipur is not an isolated incident. It is the result of 10 years or more of hatred, of mob lynching, of discrimination, of divide and rule, and trying to tear away the fabric and the country. It is not an isolated thing. You have to very clearly understand this. And you have to now take the stand from a perspective of the country. You cannot say this is only for Manipur. This is for Manipur, this is for the Northeast, and this is for the entire country that we call and love, which is India. Will you all do that? Yes. Now, there are people who are very anguished and say that I'm an undercover agent. Well, I'm an above ground friend of Manipur, of every community, and of the entire country. And I will tell you that in this last 1.5 years, everything that I've seen is just beyond belief. There has been a misinformation campaign, which we'll come to later. But one of the biggest concerns for me is the person who's today in charge of Manipur. the Governor Ajay Bhalla. Now in Manipur Ki Baat, former Home Secretary Mr. G.K. Pillai gave the suggestion that the government should maybe roll out a 7-day period for everyone to surrender their weapons. This was on the 18th of March, and on the 20th of March, the governor actually rolled out that notice. Very, very few guns have come in. We don't know the number of ammunition. I didn't see any bombs which have been surrendered. But this, everyone should understand, is an issue of national security. It was under the same Ajay Bhalla, who was Home Secretary, that this entire handover of arms happened. After my representation to the President of India in December 2023 sent this letter to the Home Secretary asking for this issue to be addressed. That has never been answered. So this Home Secretary doesn't even bother about the President of India. My concern is that if a disease has been caused by, let's say, a doctor or an hospital, would you go back to the same doctor or the same hospital for your treatment? No. Unfortunately, today that is what the case is. The people who have caused this disease, who have caused this massacre, are now in charge of projecting that they are going to solve this. It is beyond me how they will solve it. They will be trying to find a way to keep themselves safe from not being arrested and being sent to jail. Every single person who facilitated this, from the top to the bottom, needs to be arrested and sent to jail. The things that I saw in the Supreme Court, the matter is not being listed. For 1 year, the matter was not listed. Despite numerous pleas, when you give them an application, they tell you this rule or that rule. But where were the rules when those arms were handed out? Where were the rules when people were being butchered and massacred? At 5 o'clock, sharp 5 o'clock, Delhi police and other agencies will come here and say, your time is over, the rule does not permit you beyond 5. I asked Delhi police and everyone else, why are these people even here? You have the audacity to stop people from even seeking and begging for their lives to be saved by saying 5 बज गए आंदोलन का समय खत्म, but इनको आंदोलन करना क्यों पड़ रहा है? A Kargil war veteran's wife was among the 2 ladies who were paraded naked and groped in public, and what all happened after that, I don't know. What message are we sending to the Indian Armed Forces? The war veteran was forced to say that I was able to keep the nation safe, but I could not keep my own wife safe. What message are we sending to people across the world? Army generals were giving out cries for help, who were in Manipur saying that, please help us. We have nowhere to go, nothing to do. This is what this nation has been brought down to. Can you imagine what impact it has on the armed forces? But yet, nobody is bothered. Policemen, paramilitary, and armed forces personnel have been abducted, killed, shot, kidnapped. Where does this end? Where do you draw a boundary line? I ask you, is there a boundary line to this madness? the question not just about Manipur, this is a question about India's future. Do you agree with me? Yes. But those in charge are not even bothered. They are not bothered for civilians, they are not bothered for paramilitary forces, they are not bothered for policemen, they are not bothered for army, they are only bothered to fill up their own coffers. There is a lot of talk that this whole issue has connections to drugs, but an ADGP of Manipur, Ms. Brinda, very clearly has stated that who is at the top of this drug business. Who is it? No, I didn't hear it. But does it end at Biren Singh is the question. He is a BJP chief minister. So where is that money going? Isn't the BJP equally responsible along with everyone locally in the state? Wasn't it the duty of the Prime Minister to make sure that he doesn't go abroad but solve this problem? Yes. It's been 1.5 years, he has gone on numerous international trips, but he didn't have the time to meet BJP MLAs from Manipur who came to his doorstep begging to meet him. Can we get any more clear answer of priorities and culpability? In the past, I very clearly said that Biren and everyone else locally responsible, whether it's the DGP or the Chief Secretary, they must be arrested. But today, publicly, and I've said this on social media, but today publicly I'm saying the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, the then Home Secretary, the NIA and CBI chiefs, the NSA, they should all be arrested and sent to jail for life. In October, I called for a protest and called for their arrest. So the ACP of Tughlaq Road told Supreme Court will not do anything, you go to the ICJ, the International Criminal Court of Justice. So from this platform today, I am forced to go by his advice and reach out to countries around the world who have faith in justice to please take this issue to ICJ. Because only a country can file a case against another country for human rights violation and waging war against its own people or any other people. So whether it is Spain or South Africa or any other country which has the willpower and wherewithal to stand for justice, I urge you to take this matter now to ICJ, going by the very advice of the ACP of Tughlaq Road Police Station. In our Supreme Court, they have time for movie screenings. Amir Khan and his wife were invited for screening of a movie called Lapata Ladies. The Chief Justice of India, then Chief Justice of India, Chandrachud, he had the time to sit with them for 45 minutes after the movie and chit-chat, but he didn't have the time for people of Manipur and people of this country. Every single institution which was made to serve and protect has failed the people of this country today. So आज पूरे देश को ये समझना होगा कि अगर आप इस हादसे को, इस नरसंहार को यहीं रोकना चाहते हैं तो आपको यहां पे सबके साथ आके खड़े होना होगा। आप सिख हैं, ईसाई हैं, हिंदू हैं, सनातनी हैं, बौद्ध हैं, क्रिश्चियन हैं, मुस्लिम हैं, जैन हैं, या आप एक अध्यापिका हैं, या आप एक स्टूडेंट हैं, आप एक डॉक्टर हैं, आप एक वकील हैं, आप एक अकाउंटेंट हैं, आप एक बिजनेस ओनर हैं, या आप किसी भी व्यवसाय में हैं, आप सबको इस देश के लिए और मणिपुर के लिए यहां सबके साथ इकट्ठे होकर खड़ा होना होगा, क्योंकि अगला नंबर नहीं तो आपका है। कोविड में हमने देखा कोई भी सेफ नहीं था। ये जो धर्म की राजनीति करते हैं, क्या वो हिंदुओं को बचा पाए? 40 से 50 लाख लोग, WHO का आंकड़ा है कि 40 से 50 लाख लोग कोविड में मारे गए। मैं ये कह रहा हूं मारे गए क्योंकि सरकार की नाकामी थी। अगर 40 से 50 लाख लोग मरे तो उसमें कम से कम 80%, 75 से 80% हिंदू थे, जिनकी लाशें दफनाई गई, जलाई नहीं गई, और उसके बाद में गिद्धों ने और कुत्तों ने उन लाशों को खाया। लाशें नदियों में बह रही थी, लेकिन ये देश तब भी नहीं जागा। अगर आप तब जाग गए होते तो मणिपुर ना होता। अगर आप डिमोनेटाइजेशन के बाद जाग गए होते तो मणिपुर ना होता। तो आज इस पूरे देश को यह समझना है कि मणिपुर आपका एक अभिन्न अंग है, आपके शरीर का। और अगर ये कैंसर और बढ़ने दिया गया और उन्हीं लोगों के हाथ में रहा जिन्होंने ये कैंसर दिया है, तो ये कैंसर पूरे देश में फैलेगा। आज जो बंदूकें मणिपुर में हैंडओवर करी गई हैं, वो अरमबाई तेंगोल के जरिए देश भर में फैल रही हो सकती हैं। अरमबाई तेंगोल, जिसके पास आर्मी के जनरल्स का ये बयान है कि 90% बंदूकें जो मणिपुर में दी गई हैं, बंदूकें, असला, बम, वो 90% अरमबाई तेंगोल और मेतेई लिपुन के पास है। और आज वही अरमबाई तेंगोल दिल्ली में अक्टूबर में उसने ब्रांच खोली, फिर चंडीगढ़ में ब्रांच खोली, फिर कलकत्ता में ब्रांच खोली। तो ये क्या बंदूकें साथ में नहीं ला रहे होंगे? और जो लोग कहते हैं कि अरमबाई तेंगोल एक कल्चरल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, उसको हथियार लेने पड़े खुद की प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, तो उनको मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि आपने खुद ही इस चीज को प्रूफ कर दिया कि सरकार ने वो काम नहीं किया जिसके लिए सरकार को चुना जाता है और असेंबली में लाया जाता है। तो सरकार ने दोनों पक्षों के साथ मतभेद किया और ये आग लगाई, फैसिलिटेट करी, जिसमें किसी का भला नहीं है, किसी का भी भला नहीं है। तो ये सबको समझना होगा कि जो सरकार खुद ही इतना असला, बंदूकें, बारूद, गोलियां, बम लोगों को दे सकती है, वो अगला कार्य क्या करेगी? और यही मेरा एक सवाल था NIA को। और यही सवाल मैंने मिनिस्टर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स से भी पूछा, और उन्होंने NIA डायरेक्टर को ये चिट्ठी भेजी और कहा कि अगला क्या होगा? क्या इंडिया के न्यूक्लियर आर्सेनल जो हैं वो लोगों में बांटे जाएंगे अब? तो आपको ये समझना होगा कि ये जो मुद्दा है, ये पूरे भारत का मुद्दा है। 2 दिन पहले एक कॉन्फ्रेंस में था जिसमें चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ जम्मू एंड कश्मीर उमर अब्दुल्ला आए हुए थे, और वो कश्मीर में बढ़ती हुई आतंकवाद की घटनाओं की बात कर रहे थे। वहाँ मौका नहीं मिला, तो इस स्टेज से मैं उनको बताना चाहता हूँ कि मेरी जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में पिटिशन चल रही है, उसके सपोर्ट में ये एक एक्स आर्मी ऑफिसर्स की एक एसोसिएशन है, उन्होंने एक चिट्ठी मुझे दी थी, और इस चिट्ठी में उन्होंने बड़ा साफ कहा था, इंग्लिश में है, मैं पढ़ के सुना देता हूँ। Our organization fully support the petition filed by you in the Supreme Court to recover the looted weapons. With such a large quantity of weapons being looted and falling into the hands of bad elements, many anti-national forces can wage war against the nation. Pakistani intelligence organizations can send these weapons to the terrorists in Kashmir that can cause harm to the reputation and security of the country. These looted weapons pose a threat to the general public, security forces, and the nation.